For over 2 centuries, it's been the smallest denomination in our pockets, often overlooked, often discarded. It's undeniably a constant in the American way of life. But its future is a topic of debate, especially as we approach the significant national milestone in 2026. So, will 2026 mark the end of the cent, or will it just be a new chapter? To understand the penny's future, we first have to understand and appreciate its past. The very first United States cent, the flowing hair large cent, was struck 1793. Imagine that. Not the same type of coin we know today. It was a large copper coin, quite different. And over the decades, it evolved. The draped bust, the classic head, the braided hair. And then it became smaller, the size we expect today, the flying eagle cent. And it quickly followed to the beloved Indian head cent. But the most iconic of these is, of course, the Lincoln cent, introduced in 1909 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. And it's been with us ever since. Now, the composition has changed dramatically from being pure copper to steel during World War II to finally its current copper plated seeing form, which happened in 1982. It is a rich history, but it comes at a price. And for the penny, the price has become a central point of contention. The core issue, simple economics. Now, see, it takes more to produce a penny than its face value. For years now, the United States Mint has been spending upwards of 2, maybe even 3 cents to mint each 1 cent coin. Now, it's not just about the metal, it includes manufacturing, transportation, distribution, and all this in an area of financial scrutiny. Now, we look at an increasing representation of a significant recurring loss for taxpayers. Inflation has eroded the purchasing power of our money to the point where penny basically buys nothing by itself. It's largely a rounding tool and a nuisance for businesses, and in many cases, dead weight sitting around in our change jars. Now, not everybody thinks that way, of course, but a lot of people think that we're throwing money away to make money that is essentially worthless. The argument: European countries have already phased out their lowest denominations. Canada eliminated their penny over a decade ago, and the sky didn't fall down. Chicken Little wasn't running around saying, the end of the world is near. Prices simply got rounded up to the nearest nickel, and it streamlined things like transactions, reduced the burden on the mint, and it frees up viable resources. So the argument that people need pennies for charity, i.e., leave a penny, take a penny, are just sentimental, not practical. And many people think that it's time to move on. Now, the questions for elimination are compelling, particularly from the financial standpoint. Now, when we look at this, there's a path to removing the coin from circulation, but it's not as simple as a Treasury directive. The power to coin money is regulated with the United States Congress. Therefore, any decision to eliminate the penny would require an act of Congress, literally. See, various legislative proposals have surfaced over the years, recently, to do research to find out what the cost of the penny removal would be. A lot of these have gained enough traction to pass through the chambers, but were never signed into law. Things like public sentiment, lobbying efforts, and the inertia of longstanding trade often proves to be a significant hurdle. Now, it's just not about the economic sense, it's about the political and public well being and perception. However, we have something very particular when we talk about public perception. Well, why does that matter? 2026 marks the semi-quincentennial, the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Now, historically, the U.S. Mint has celebrated the milestones with special coinage or medals. Now, we look at the bicentennial quarters, half dollars, the Ike dollar, for instance. The idea of eliminating the penny just as the nation is getting ready to celebrate its 250th birthday, kind of seems counterintuitive. Or, knowing the processes of the current mint, is it just a ploy? Well, we have to look at the elimination. 2026 presents a unique opportunity not only to revitalize the penny, new designs often get sparked and presented, and public law can be changed. Collector interest, increasing demand for the coin, there's a lot of reasons why they may not get rid of the penny. In order for the penny to be eliminated, the current legislation is calling for things like a review. They're going to look at things like public sentiment, the cost argument, the devaluement of our money. And while these arguments are valid, we often see these having taken a back seat to the historical significance and content when it comes to public attachment. Now, a lot of people say that new and exciting designs could inject fresh life into the Lincoln Cent. And knowing the way things have gone recently, that's maybe not so far fetched. So while the economic arguments against the penny persist, the symbolic weight of the upcoming semi-quincentennial, combined with the legislative process that must be met, combined with public sentiment, makes the elimination in 2026 improbable. For now, it appears the Lincoln Cent, its copper plate zinc form, is here to stay. Frankly, I would like if they changed the metal, but perhaps it's time to usher in another chapter of American history. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Frostbyte. Please hit the subscribe button, and there's another video right here. Go check that out. We will see you in the streams. Take care.